I've been going through quite a rough patch creatively recently, and it seems as though I always come back to one book, and that book is The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. The basic premise of the book revolves around the concept, and that is resistance. Resistance is the thing that stands in between who you are right now and who you are in your potential. You're the best version of yourself. The thing in between those two states is a wall. And the big thing that I take away from Pressfield's book that I found value from was just the universal nature of resistance. Literally almost every single thing that bars you and stops you from making progress with your work could be in some way defined as resistance. If you have the core idea of, look, a certain part of ourselves that lives within us all wants us to fail, wants us to die miserable and lonely, having achieved nothing in our lives. And so its primary aim would be, I do not want this sucker to get this work done. However, if that kind of blatant, simple message were to manifest in your mind, then you may have a better chance of combating it. However, this part is sneaky. It knows your insecurities, it knows your weak points, and so it morphs. Whatever is your weakest point, resistance will target that. It's probably just an unwillingness to get my hands dirty and do the work, but it manifests itself in overthinking and intrusive thoughts and going along with, oh, maybe I have this mental disorder, maybe I have this kind of psychological problem. Whereas the only real thing I have to do is do the work. No doubt there are legitimate mental disorders that people have to contend with on a chronic basis in their lives. However, I think from my experience, at least a part of that has to be attributed to resistance. You can conjure up these phantoms of your mind and the things that are dragging you down just in an effort, almost on an unconscious level, because the person isn't going, I'm doing this to try and get away from my work, but nevertheless it achieves the same goal. You are moving yourself away in fabricating these ailments. If you have this need, this growing desire, this captivating feeling that you are to create, in direct proportion to the strength of that feeling, you are going to have an opposing contradictory force of resistance. And so these things aren't mutually exclusive. I guess the basic message that I want to try and convey in this video is this: doing what needs to be done regardless of how you are feeling. I really hope that helps you, because almost it doesn't matter what you're doing with your life. Just if you try and dedicate yourself authentically to what you genuinely want to do, the next step in that case is to go down that path as courageously as you possibly can. And if there are obstacles that you are scared of, or if there are times when you don't feel like doing something but you know that on this path it will have to be done, then do it anyway. And I think, if at times you're feeling low and you're finding it hard just to move your body in that, just in any way towards that kind of North Star, then I would really recommend The War of Art. It taps into a more sort of metaphysical, ethereal part of our existences that gives you hope. And it's reassuring in a way, just for a man like Pressfield, who comes across as a very wise, learned man, to have struggled very, very deeply, very painfully with the same struggles that all of us have. It's reassuring in a way, because it kind of shows you that we're not different in terms of the difficulties we face. We're not different in terms of the tragic elements of our lives. We're all fucked up in some way or another. It's just that some of us do the work regardless of how we are feeling, and some of us do the work only when we feel like it. And it's very easy to say that as some kind of nice dictum. Oh yeah, let's fail. Failure's good. Yeah, failure's good. But failure sucks, when it happens to you, right? So it's all well and good me saying, guys, act, and then the good feeling will happen. But it still sucks when you feel horrible, when you feel like the world's collapsing on you, you feel anxious, and then You know that you have to act, but it doesn't make it suck any less. I understand that. And it's a lesson that I'm going to have to learn 50, 100 times over and over again, just reminding me of the same thing. But let's do that. Let's remind ourselves.